Dead blondes don't just get up and walk. Legat's office wasn't much of a place to die in. Peeling paint, a worn-out carpet, an ugly beat-up desk, an even uglier old-fashioned push-bar fire escape, and dust. Dust everywhere. Since all four of them, my mystery blonde and three guys I don't know, look around as I walk in, nobody's dead yet. But it ain't gonna last. The room's thick with death. Somebody's gonna die, and die bad. Either that or I've got the mother of all hangovers. The economy side muscle dwarf in the fire exit, like he's Moose Malloy's older brother, looks even tougher than the steel door, so don't figure him for the old big sleep. Favourite's the one behind the desk, an ugly version of Danny DeVito on the edge of a coronary. The other two, my mystery client and a rat catcher Joe with her, comes up to maybe a shoulder, are nervous sure, but not like they're about to die from it. Ratcatcher's wearing a crumpled black blue suit and looks like he hasn't slept in a week. She's in a chic little white woolen number and red heels and looks almost as good as when she walked into my office this morning with a long flat parcel and a cool black dress that fitted where it touched, seemed to touch just about everywhere. Instead of maybe saying pull up a stool, kid, like or something like Bogey would have done, I kind of barked and to make out like I always breathed in short, panting gasps. Joe Cool, only with asthma. I didn't quite catch her name, but she paid me $300 cash on the nail just to deliver a package to a Mr. Legat, which was good enough for me. She'd given me this east side address, warned it might be dangerous. Didn't warn me enough, though. I got sapped on the way in, the package and my gun heisted. So now I got bulldozers clanging around my skull, no gun, and the place is thick with death. Death and tired dust. Who the hell are you, bub? The DeVito type behind the desk says. King. David King, I say in my best Sean Connery, and do my tough guy shoulder move. I nod at the mystery blonde. I'm working for the lady. You Legat? He nods and smirks. King, huh? In that trench coat outfit, I thought maybe you were going to be Sam Spade. I thumb the rim of my fedora. No, the moniker's David King, but you can call me Dave. I smile my Robert Redford smile. You carrying, Mac? Economy size wants to know. I move into full tough guy mode. Shape up to him. Who's Ashkin, sweetheart? Legat says, he gets called Rhino, and he don't like wise guys. No problem, I leave. I make to go, but since Rhino growls like a whole pride of lions would if you stepped on all their tails at once, I figure, what the hell, and stick around. Believe me, Bogart wouldn't have done any different. The big fella comes over and frisks me, hardly breaks any of my ribs. Fast but thorough. Too thorough to be him, slugged me downstairs, heisted my Smith & Wesson. Plus I'm still alive is another clue. I try to stare down his Adam's apple, since he's too tall for eye contact, but I don't faze him. He's clean, Bosh, Rhino grunts, steps back to the desk. I nod at him, make like I'm hyperventilating because I want to. He doesn't nod back, so I don't tell him he can call me Dave. Mickey Spillane, eat your heart out. You related to Blondie's pal Bone Crusher here or something? Legat throws in. He's another bojo, thinks she's too tough to pack heat. Bone Crusher? I look Blondie's rumbled rat catcher guy up and down. I don't have to look far. So what you after, bub? Legat snorts. He has a snort like a hog'd give a right arm for. I take the Lucky Strike pack out of my pocket, careful so as not to alarm Rhino, and I flip one into my mouth. They ain't to know I stopped smoking when I was 10. I was hired to deliver a package. I got jumped in the lobby. A picture? I shrug my, one fat brown paper package looks much like another, shrug, and pull on the cigarette like it was lit. Dish picture? Legat lifts up one side of a painting up off of the desk. I squint at the brown, nothing landscape, through pretend cigarette smoke, shrug my, you tell me shrug. The parcel made it up here, so where's my gun? The dame hired you, huh, to deliver the picture. I make pretend smoke rings, me and the Sphinx. So how come a pal Bone Crusher fetched the picture on up? He took it away from you, huh? You bojos falling out with each other, maybe. So it was Ratcatcher slugged me, heisted my gun. Legat rounds on my mystery blonde. You're sure jerking everybody's chain here, shister. She has a cigarette in her mouth, too, and is fussing in her purse, changes her mind, tosses the cigarette back. Legat stands up, which makes him shorter than when he was sitting. Hefts the painting. Two long neon tubes on the ceiling get reflected in the glass. You skipped me $130,000 for this, lady. She looks like she could use that cigarette after all. I shrug my, life's a bitch, then you die, shrug. I should maybe have shrugged my sympathetic, gee, that's tough, shrug, because Legat swings the picture around and down against the corner of the desk. Shattered glass, splintered wood, mangled, twisted canvas. This is one painting. I ain't going to play the violin no more. 100,000 G's. A deposit for a piece of junk? Well, it sure is now, yeah. Wisecracks I don't need, okay? I always crack wise when I'm nervous, my mouth says, before I can stop it. Goddamn fate, just like Blondie here. She ain't no agent for no owner, never has been. The original was never for sale, so I get a brung in here double quick, maybe do some explaining, and then you and Bone Crusher show up. So let's cut the crap, people. I'm at 130 grand here, and I want it back, now. I don't know if one of the others was about to break down and write out a check, but in any case, a distant banshee wail changes things. We all listen, kind of careful. Police sirens. A 44 Magnum appears like magic in Rhino's fist, and Legat's wielding a sudden little Beretta like he knows what he's doing too. Death does his no more Mr. Nice Guy act now. Stomps around the room real serious, clutching at throats like he means business. My mystery client struggles another cigarette from a purse into her mouth, does some more nervous rummaging for a lighter. You and your pals here got a bad case of the schmarts, Blondie, Legat snarls at her. What the hell's going down? Some wise guy called the cops, boss, Rhino says, and waves the Magnum at me. I try for a deep breath, forgetting how I've got a cigarette in my mouth, almost swallow it whole. I lurch into a choking fit and take center stage as I stagger across the room, coughing and gagging. Nobody notices Blondie pull a Smith & Wesson, my Smith & Wesson, out of her purse. There's a sound like thunder and Legat's head explodes and he gets dead real quick. Blondie's struggling with the recoil and Bone Crusher stepping in front of her kind of jerks his arm at the big guy. She screams, cut short as Rhino's 44 crashes twice, and they're both tossed against the wall and leave a big red smear behind as they flop in a heap. Just me and Rhino left standing. I don't know whether I'm going to dive across the desk for Legat's Beretta or go for my piece where Blondie's dropped it, even though I doubt bullets are going to work on Rhino anyway. But the big fella's sinking to his knees, a fist at his throat, the Magnum slack. And then he's both headlights short of a pair and pitches forward on his face. Several inches of red glistening blades slide up out the back of his neck as he hits the carpet. And I hadn't even seen Bone Crusher throw anything. I go over and stand looking down at Blondie's blood-spattered body, twisted under the little guy. She ain't going to give back no 130 grand now. In any case, Legat's interest is all over the wall with his brains. And Rhino's dead from a severe case of just doing his job. And Bone Crusher, concealing throwing knives, somehow passing heisted guns to blondes without nobody being any the wiser. The little guy was the works all right, a class act. Ain't none of them got to stand in line no more, get gridlocked, worried about alimony, rent, whatever. I'd smelled death in the air the second I walked in the room, but I sure hadn't figured on no corpses convention. Cars screech to a halt outside, sirens winding down and doors getting slammed, and my dead blonde suddenly squirms out from under Bone Crusher, panting and heaving. I'm a pretty tough guy, and I don't jump more than 2 feet in the air. Dead blondes don't just get up and walk, but nobody told this one. I thought she was hit, but she must just be splattered with Bone Crusher's blood. The little guy took both slugs for her. She ups and grabs a purse and lights out the fire escape lickety-split before I can even say, hey, lady, this has got to cost extra. Dead blondes don't just get up and walk, believe you me, they run like hell. I got to admit, for a second there, I thought about hightailing it out after her, but instead I slammed the fire escape shut, scuffed the dust tracks over, and got no prints off of my Smith & Wesson by the time the SWAT team smashed the unlocked door to Matchwood and yelled, "Freeze, sucker! Police!" like they do on TV. Turns out the building superintendent had seen me unconscious in the lobby, called it in. So I get to explain 1,000,000 times how it was Bone Crusher hired me, it was me shot Legat, nobody mentions no mystery blonde. After lots of threatening noises about revoking my PI license, they let me go, keep my gun as maybe evidence. By the time I get back to the office, it's dark, and the hotel neon outside my window is on. And off. On, off, on, off. I nailed the silence with a Jose Feliciano CD and sat a while in the soothing wash of the ink blackness, red pulse, ink blackness, red pulse, and finished off what was left of this week's whiskey. With Bush 41's 1990 hindsight, I could see I'd been hired as a fall guy, a patsy. An errand boy who'd wound up helping a damsel out of a tight spot and helped to clear up 130 grand without so much as a nickel bonus. But hey, it wasn't like I'd ended up dead or had to try and hold down a 9-to-5 job or anything. So I fished out next week's whiskey bottle as well and sat a while longer with Jose and then Ray and then some Fats in the on-off red dark until I got through that sucker too. What the hell? Most of us only get to live once, right?